Yo, 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 what's good with it, y'all? It's your boy Lamborghini Preem, back once again talking this boxing shit. And as always, don't forget, if you fuck with me, to make sure you head to my official site, hustlegameboss.com, and check out my all-new album, It's My Turn, the Throne Ascension LP. It's definitely a classic. If you appreciate G shit in your records, you know what I mean? You're not one of those people that's into the, funny color hair, suspect weirdo shit, then you need to fuck with me, you know what I mean? All I spit is that King G shit, you know what I mean? You want to feel like a king, you want to feel like supreme, then you come see me, you know what I mean? If you on that other fuckboy shit, gon' keep doing what you doing, but if you appreciate that strongly, you're gonna appreciate me. And my music is always available on my site, but it's also available on Pandora, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, big shout out to Tidal, and literally everywhere else you can find music. Now on to the video. This one in particular will not be my usual prediction and breakdown type video, as the subject of this one is just pretty simple. It revolves, I should say, it's not the subject that's simple, it's the concept that's simple. The concept is Ronda Rousey has decided to join the WWE. Now, that seems to be ruffling feathers, on both sides. Some people like it, some people don't. Me personally, I think it's the best thing she could have did for her career, because her career as a fighter, in my opinion, is over. She had a run. It was a great run. And she was at the top of the game virtually the entire time there was women's MMA, until the Holly Holm fight. But let's keep it real here. Mentally, she's not built for the fight game. I hate to say that, man. I really do. Because when you have an athlete like Ronda who's that good, it's hard to see her fall from grace like we've been watching it. It's been kind of cringe-worthy. Now, don't get me wrong. Towards the end of her ascent to greatness, if you will, she got pretty unbearable. For me, at least, you know what I mean? She started to get really unbearable. The shit she was saying was just reckless as fuck for no reason. She was insulting guys, insulting my man Floyd Mayweather, insulting Money McGregor, insulting a lot of dudes, you know what I mean? Just not even a lot of dudes, just a lot of her contemporaries or constituents, if you will. And I also felt like at the same time she was doing that, she was receiving a lot of praise and accolades that weren't exactly deserved. Like the year she won the ESPY, it definitely should have been Serena Williams. I mean, that's just, Serena Williams is one of the greatest athletes, male or female, period, like in history. I respect what Ronda did as a fighter, because she's a G. You can't get to where she got without being thorough. So I definitely respect it. But at the same time, the shit Serena Williams has done in a sport that's exponentially more difficult to master, it was beyond worthy of that praise. So when you're getting accolades that you didn't deserve, and at the same time taking your opportunity or your time to shine, your moment in the light, to trash other people who have never trashed you, it looks like shit. It looks terrible. It's not a good look for her. It wasn't a good look, I should say. And then the humble pie she had to eat after getting that ass whooping from Holly Holm. I mean, now don't get me wrong, man. I understand how a fighter's mentality is, and how you have to be all the way locked in, and how you have to really live, breathe, eat, sleep, shit, fight. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. And I also understand that to be great, you have to have a certain level of ego as well. I get all of that. But when most fighters lose, they go back to the drawing board and assess where they went wrong. They look at things like they do get down on themselves. I can definitely see that happen. I can see, especially if you were as high as Ronda was on the totem pole, that fall is heavy. But I can't really give her a pass on the way that she conducted herself after the fall, because we saw Conor McGregor take a similar L that was just as embarrassing, and he was at just as high a level, and we saw him take that L. We saw him reassess. We saw him regroup. We saw him get his shit together and come back and win. Now, personally, I thought he lost the second fight against Diaz too, but that's just my personal opinion. On paper, he got the W. And regardless of whether or not he got the W, I like how he moved after that, because he didn't take a whole long time off. He went and got his shit together and bounced back, sharpened his game a little bit more, added some more strategies to his shit and went after it, man. And that's the type of mentality that a fighter should have. Even my man Adrien Broner, you know what I'm saying? He got that ass whooping by Maidana, and it's clear that he ain't really been right since, but his mentality as a fighter never really changed, he was still ready to get back in there and fight him in a rematch. And if Floyd hadn't fought him and cashed him out so good that he was ready to retire, I think he would have fought Maidana and been able to beat and avenge that loss. And I also believe, I know this is going to be slightly controversial, but I believe that if Adrien Broner would have actually fought Maidana in a rematch and won the fight, I believe that we would not be seeing the same self-destructive version of AB that we see now. So, I mean, it's all wishful thinking, and I could be 100% wrong, but I doubt it, man. I feel like if he'd have been able to rematch Maidana and get his confidence back, we would have seen a whole different version of Broner. Maybe one that works hard, But shit, you can't blame nobody for that but Broner, I mean, it just is what it is. He should have been like that the first time. Should have been locked in the first time. Should have did what he had to do the first time. Same thing with Ronda. Except the difference with Ronda is, I think that Ronda's style has, before our very eyes, from the Beth Correa fight all the way to the Nunes fight, has become obsolete. These chicks know now. All you got to do is have a decent striking game and the ability to stop Ronda from taking you down and grabbing that arm like Holly did. If you got a little what the fuck is that shit? If you have a little strategy that's similar to that, you will win. I hate to say it, but I definitely think Ronda was a one-trick pony. She was fighting girls that they were great fighters, especially Gina Carano and Misha Tate, definitely. But the rest of them girls was, they had very sizable flaws that were able to be easily exploited. And I believe that if maybe Ronda had made maybe a coaching change after the Holly Lahome fight, then maybe Ronda's career as a fighter could have been resurrected, but not after that Nunes loss. After the Nunes loss, she's done mentally, because I hate to say this because it's just so cliche and it actually sounds kind of ridiculous, but it makes perfect sense if you think about it. And that's when athletes tell you 90% of the game is half mental. That makes no sense, does it? But it does. 90% of the game is half mental. Half of that 90%, 45% of that is mental. If you don't have that 45%, you can have everything else. You can be in shape. You can have your strategy down pat. You can, have the best technique ever. But if you're missing that 45%, you're not going to pass. You're not going to win. It's just a fact. It just is what it is. If you don't have the mentality of a warrior, the mentality of someone who wants to win, the mentality of a winner, not even a warrior, a winner. If you don't have that anymore, it could bring your game down to a point to where it's not that you're nothing, it's just you're not you. And when you're not you anymore, in any other sport, maybe you can continue and kind of dial it in. You still look like shit out there. But in basketball, you could probably dial it in. Football, you don't want to dial it in, but you could still dial it in and still, have a good year or two of success or decent numbers. But when you, just based off, memory of doing it all these years, but when you talk about the fight game, all it takes is one shot. And not only your career, but your life could be over, man. You can end up like Gerald McClellan. You can end up like the Asian gentleman, I forgot that Ray Boom Boom Mancini killed in the ring. You know what I'm saying? You can end up like any of these guys. Like, this is the fight game. These situations are real. So like I said, with that in mind, when you knowing that the game, 90% of the game is half mental, You know that Ronda Rousey don't even got 5% of that 45% she would need to win. Period. And her coaches, they don't know what to teach her. They don't know what to show her to give her the confidence that she needs. Anytime you hear rumors coming out of sparring that the girls that you pay in the spar, they had to sign NDA agreements and not hit you back. How is that sparring? That's not even sparring. You're preparing yourself for an ass whooping. That's what you're preparing yourself for. Because you have no blueprint, or you have no established what is that shit? You have no established precedent for what to do or how to respond when you get hit in the face. It's gonna be brand new to you almost, you know. But it's just like it's really not like anything, because it's fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, just one shot could take you out of that motherfucker. You walk in that ring, if you're not mentally there, you can walk back out and never be the same. Or you can walk back out as not the same fighter. So I think this WWE move is great for her. Now, to the chicks I shouldn't say it like that. To the female wrestlers who are a little salty about this, it's 100% understandable from my opinion, because you ladies work hard every day. Ladies have trained for years to do what you do, and it's not something that just anybody can do. I respect that, but a big part of the wrestling business, in addition to the technique and the things that you learn, in the wrestling schools and all that thing, it's just star power. You know what I'm saying? Star power can trump almost all of that sometimes. Does it last long? No, of course not. Just like anything. Once, it'll run its course, and then, it'll come back to the divas like it's supposed to. But right now, I'm not mad at Ronda getting a big check to come through there. Y'all shouldn't be mad either, because all it really does is brings a brighter light to the female wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't watched wrestling in years. You know what I mean? I ain't watched wrestling since the NWO and shit. You know what I mean? It's been a long time for me fucking with wrestling. That ain't really my thing no more. But I do have a young son, and he probably gonna get into the shit soon. So, we'll see how that go. But if he do, we'll probably end up watching all of them. The male Royal Rumble, the female Royal Rumble, all that shit. And at the end of the day, it'll just bring more eyeballs to what you ladies already do. So I don't know if y'all definitely have a point and a leg to stand on as far as your opinion and how you feel. I just don't think that in this situation that, is conducive to a productive environment or a productive situation for all of you if there becomes cattiness because she's a star. I mean, it just is what it is. You can't deny Ronda's a star. Millions of dollars have been pumped to make sure that she became a star, and it was effective, so now she's using that clout to get her bag and join you guys in the wrestling world, which I think you should commend her for. It's wrestling, definitely not something anybody can get in, but if you have a personality strong enough and, Vince McMahon willing to pay, fuck it, why not? That's just my opinion on it, so I ain't tripping on her at all, you know what I mean? But that's just the way I feel about it. I'm glad Ronda's out of the MMA world, because, she won't have to worry about CTE or getting hurt really bad in the cage anymore. But, to see the way her career ended, man, it's just it was hard to watch. But hopefully this WWE move will bring her back, you know what I'm saying? Because the WWE has an uncanny way of doing things like that, resurrecting people, and just, being a good look all the way around. I don't think anybody from Mike Tyson to Floyd Mayweather to, even Muhammad Ali was in the WWF one time way back in the day. They done had just about everybody in wrestling if you was hot and you could do it. So, and just about for everybody involved, it helped them. I didn't see it hurt not one of those people. So the musician Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean? Whoever go on wrestling, it don't seem to hurt. So shit, fuck it, why not? You know what I mean? That's my thoughts on this shit. I'm on to the next one. I'ma holla at y'all 100.